The people of Montenegro are some of the most hospitable in the world. They have their own commandments and are the second tallest people in the world. Stay until the end of the video to learn about this nation and why there are people who march naked through certain areas of this country. Montenegro, located along the Adriatic coast, is a small country with a millennia-old past as rich as its Balkan sweets. Montenegro's history ranges from ancient Illyrian tribes and Roman conquests to medieval rulers and Ottoman exploits, creating a dynamic mosaic of ethnicities, beliefs, and political upheavals. Montenegro is a country that stands out for its impressive nature. From majestic mountains to crystal blue waters, this corner of Europe captivates all those who visit it. The combination of lush forests, serene lakes, and spectacular beaches make Montenegro a true paradise for nature lovers. In Montenegro, it is possible to get lost in the immensity of its national parks, such as Durmitor or Biogradska Gora, where the native flora and fauna unfold in all their splendor. In addition, the Montenegrin coast, bathed by the Adriatic Sea, has beautiful walled cities such as Kotor and Budva, which perfectly combine medieval charm with natural beauty. But not only is the land stunning in Montenegro, so is its wonderful coastline. From the stunning white sand beaches of Olchinj to the turquoise waters of the Bay of Kotor, this country offers endless opportunities to enjoy nature in all its glory. Did you know that Brad Pitt's first movie was filmed in Kotor? In Kotor, one of the most beautiful cities not only in Montenegro, but also in the Balkans, the film The Dark Side of the Sun was filmed. The medieval towns of Montenegro are like fragments of a glorious past that remain intact over time. Its cobbled streets, its imposing fortresses, and its ancient churches are silent witnesses of the vicissitudes they have experienced over the centuries. Each of these towns has its own story to tell, from majestic Kotor, with its imposing walls and labyrinth of narrow alleys, to the charming town of Perast, with its iconic church in the middle of the sea. Montenegro is an ideal destination for lovers of history and culture, since in every corner you can find vestiges of the past that invite you to immerse yourself in its fascinating history. Without a doubt, visiting the medieval towns of Montenegro is a unique experience that transports the visitor to remote times and allows them to get to know the essence of this very special country up close. Montenegro's cultural diversity can be seen in its folk festivals, which celebrate traditional dances and songs, as well as its museums and art galleries that showcase the country's cultural heritage. In addition, the influence of the Orthodox, Catholic, and Muslim religion can be observed in the architecture of the churches, monasteries, and mosques that are found throughout the country. Now that you know this, when you think of Montenegro, you might imagine stunning mountain landscapes, crystal clear waters, and charming coastal towns. But did you know that Montenegro is also home to some of the most beautiful and popular nudist beaches in the world? Located on an island in the Bojana River, Ada Bojana is one of the most popular nudist beaches in Montenegro. This secluded spot is surrounded by lush greenery, offering visitors the perfect opportunity to embrace their natural self without prying eyes. Just make sure you bring enough sunscreen, because there's nothing worse than a sunburn on sensitive areas. If you're looking for a bit of history in your nudism, Queen's Beach is the place for you. This beach, located on the Budva Riviera, has been a popular destination for nudists for decades. With crystal clear waters and stunning mountain views, it's easy to understand why this beach has stood the test of time. Although nudity is generally accepted on Montenegro's nudist beaches, there are some rules and regulations that visitors must respect. These rules are in place to ensure that everyone has a safe and enjoyable experience. Some common rules include no taking photos without permission, no lewd behavior, and no staring or making inappropriate comments. Remember, the nude beach is not a place for harassment or objectification. You will surely be thinking that if you are going to visit this country as a single person, you will be able to find a partner with whom you can spend a good vacation. But not even the locals have that privilege. We'll tell you why. First, we remind you to like our content and share this video with other people. It is worth visiting this country for all the culture and beautiful landscapes it offers us. Montenegro requires more from women than from men, as will be seen below. The emigration of women and children due to conflict has led to a change in the country's demographics, with almost exclusively male populations. Villages like Marica and Krvika, nicknamed bachelor villages. A few years ago, in Marica, the estimated number of inhabitants was approximately 300 people. However, more than 200 of them were men who were not married. In Krvika, another town in Montenegro, the situation worsens. Approximately 50 single men live there, but there is no female presence. The few who arrive on their own initiative seem to flee in fear due to the overwhelming gender inequality. This situation has given rise to a surprising phenomenon that is attracting global attention: the importation of Albanian brides. Albanian women who are brides are usually originally from Albania, and are taken to towns in Montenegro to be married to single men from the area. Marriage brokers and agencies often facilitate the import process by matching single men from Montenegro with Albanian women interested in living in Montenegro. Although there may be economic and social causes that explain this trend, it also raises broader questions about gender roles, migration, and cultural identity in the area. Bringing brides from Albania has become an apparent solution to address the gender disparity in localities like Marica and Krvica, as without measures, Montenegro could face a serious threat to its demographics and culture in the near future. The shortage of women in these localities impacts both the social and emotional life of the inhabitants and the reproduction and survival of the community. Furthermore, the possible extinction of these communities could affect the cultural identity and diversity of Montenegro. With all this, the arrival of Albanian brides can be a solution to the dilemma, and in part, it is indispensable as long as the Albanian brides agree and will also find in this situation an opportunity to improve their situation. By promoting marriage unions between men and women in the Albanian area, renewed life prospects and the survival of the population in rural areas are ensured. However, this situation also raises questions about the fusion of cultures, gender roles, and the long-term viability of these interracial relationships. It is striking that Montenegro has one of the lowest birth rates in the world, with around only 9 births per 1,000 inhabitants. The steady decline in the birth rate in recent years has exacerbated the shortage of women in certain regions of the country. This has increased the need to find solutions, such as the importation of Albanian brides, to secure the future of Montenegro. To get to Montenegro, you have several options. Here I present some of them. First, take a flight. From most European capitals, you can fly to Montenegro. There are 2 international airports. One in Podgorica, 12 kilometers from the city, and another in Tivat, 4 kilometers from the city center. And to have a well-planned date, the best time of year will depend on your intentions in this country since the high season runs from July to August. These are the hottest and driest months. There is a lot of tourism, so book early, while the mid-season goes with May, June, September, and October. There is less tourism, tighter prices, and availability of accommodation. And finally, the low season is from November to April. Less touristy, ideal for tight budgets, except for ski lovers in the Koalisan and Zabeljak areas. Remember that if you are Spanish, you can enter Montenegro with your DNI without needing a passport for stays of up to 90 days. Another thing to consider is the general budget. For a complete trip, including accommodations, meals, and activities, it is recommended to have a budget of around $50 to $100 per day. The fusion of Balkan and Mediterranean traditions in the gastronomy of Montenegro is a true delight for the senses. On the one hand, the Balkan influence is evident in dishes such as cevapi, delicious beef sausages seasoned with local spices, or in the famous national dish called njeguski persut, a cured ham in the style of the Njegusi region. These dishes are an example of the rich culinary tradition of the Balkans, where meat, spices, and aromatic herbs are the undisputed protagonists. On the other hand, the Mediterranean influence is reflected in dishes such as fresh grilled fish, seasonal vegetable salads with extra virgin olive oil, or local cheeses with protected designation of origin. The Mediterranean diet, famous for its healthy properties and exquisite flavor, merges harmoniously with the intense flavors of Balkan cuisine in Montenegro. Remember, subscribe and activate notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. For example, you can watch our video about the most unknown and exotic Caribbean country. Do you know which one it is? Well, go see it, and we'll wait for you on a next adventure.